Hello and welcome to this edition of North Penn's Finest. I'm your host, Ted Heller. On today's show, we will talk to several North Penn students about their individual accomplishments this year and to several members of the Oak Park 50th anniversary celebration that they're going to have this year. But first, before we go to Oak Park, let's talk about these three students here. To my immediate right is Amit Malik, Jeannie Prokowski, and then David Rosenfeld. Thank you very much for joining me on the show today. Amit, let's talk to you. What school, what grade do you go to?
I'm in 6th grade at Gwinnett Square Elementary School.
And who is your teacher there?
Mr. Joshi is my homeroom teacher.
Okay, and do you have is there one favorite subject you have at Gwinnett Square?
Math.
Who's the teacher?
Mr. Brunn.
Is he any good?
Yeah.
He's very good.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk about you have some exciting news here. What did you do? You were competing in the state geography bee. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Let's talk about how the competition works. Did you have a competition at Gwinnett Square?
Yeah. Well, first there was a preliminary competition. In each classroom, they asked us 7 questions, and I got 6 out of 7 right. And I had the highest score in my class, so I got to go to the school geography B final competition.
Now let's talk about one of those questions. And I don't know what one of those questions. Do you remember any of the questions?
No, not at all.
You don't remember any of those questions? Do you remember any question that you've been through in any of these?
Yeah, I remember the question that I won on in the school geography B.
What was the question?
It was Timbuktu has been a gold and salt trading center in the ancient empire of which modern-day country? And that modern-day country is Mali.
Mali, okay. I was going to ask them because I knew the answer. You knew the answer. I just want to make sure David, okay, and Jeannie knew. Okay, so honestly, how did you know that?
5th grade social studies.
Okay, and who was that teacher?
Mrs. Warbrick.
Very good teacher there as well. Okay, so you won the school competition. Is there another level to this competition now? What's
then
next?
I took a written 70-question qualifying test, and it's multiple choice, and I answered that, and then I got my score back in about March, and they don't tell you your score, but I mean, they just said I qualified for the state competition.
Okay. Have you done the state competition yet?
Yeah, it happened on April 3rd. I didn't win, but it was okay.
Okay. Let's talk about the competition. How many other students were there?
102 students overall. They all had the best scores on the written qualifying test.
Do you remember where this competition was held?
Yeah, it was at the Penn State College campus.
So you went out to Penn State for the weekend?
Yeah, it was good.
And talk about that competition. Talk about that weekend. You went out there. Did you just go to the competition, come right home?
Yeah, on Thursday night, because it was on a Friday, I drove up there and I stayed at a hotel. And then on Friday, I had the competition, and then I drove back Friday night.
Okay. Were you nervous through this competition?
Yeah, because it was my first time, and my nerves were really up. It was literally like pounding. My heart was pounding. It was really hard. I mean, the nerves might have gotten to me on some of those questions.
Okay. Are you as nervous as you were before in this TV show right now, or are you a little bit more relaxed here?
A little bit more relaxed.
Okay.
There's no pressure here.
There's not as much pressure. The questions aren't as hard. All right, we're going to put you on the spot, and we have a question prepared for you. Again, I know the answer, and if the answers are wrong, it's because the person typed this up didn't do the research properly. So here is the question. As soon as I find the question, here we go. What are the 3 countries that start with the letter H? Do you know any of the 3?
I'm not sure what that has to do with geography, but...
I'm not sure either. And I want to thank the person that typed this up for me. So let's have a geography question. What state has this famous national park? Gettysburg.
That'd be Pennsylvania.
Correct. You move on to the next level.
Okay.
And thank you very much for joining me. Jeannie, I need to ask you questions because we need to move away from him. Jeannie, you wrestled this year.
Yes.
What grade are you in?
I'm a junior.
At North Penn High School. Is this your first year wrestling?
I've been wrestling since 7th grade, but this is the first year I decided to wrestle for the high school.
Okay. This is not a common thing.
No.
So let's talk about why is a girl in wrestling?
I grew up with 4 older brothers, so I grew up a tomboy, and they all did wrestling, so I kind of just got into it.
Okay. So are there other girls on the team?
There's-
This is all new to me. This is such an uncommon thing.
There's another girl named Mackenzie Dahlbert. She's a freshman. I've known her for a while because I wrestled with her brother in middle school. But
Okay. Now, I'm sorry to put you on the spot here,
Oh, good.
but there's weight divisions.
yes,
And I still wrestle. I am in the 145-pound weight division. And you wrestled. Thank you for not laughing, by the way. Thank you. You wrestled in the 133-pound division. And do you wrestle against other boys, other girls? What happens?
I wrestle for the high school and school competitions. There's only one other girl, and her name's Kylie, and she goes to Penn, who's Mackenzie's cousin. And she was in my weight class, but I didn't get a wrestler this year, so I wrestled all guys through season.
Okay.
So.
Now, how did you do?
I did okay. I
Okay.
won like a couple, but that was about it.
Now, how do you think the guy, do you care about how the guy feels if you
No.
were to pin them? Like if you and Dave were to start wrestling right now and you pinned him, do you care about that or when you
well,
wrestle?
It depends, because usually if I beat a guy, it's because either they're really bad, because most guys I wrestle. Well, most guys
Let's
I wrestle.
hope they're not watching.
Well, I'm really tall, and that's where I get my weight from. And the guys I wrestle are usually short and stocky kids.
You and I get our weight from the same thing. We're both tall people. What other competitions? There's a Pennsylvania State Girls Wrestling Championship.
I went to states this year for
Just
girls.
for girls?
They're starting to try to do all states, and then we have nationals. At states, I took first place this year, and at nationals, I took 8th.
So you're the state champion in your weight division.
Yes.
And did you already go through nationals?
I went through nationals. I got 8th.
Out of?
We're supposed to have 52 girls because of like first place from every state goes, but there was a couple states that weren't there, so
Where
we had
was
like 40.
nationals held? Actually, maybe
Michigan.
should I ask Amit here? Where were nationals held?
Probably in Washington, D.C.
Where were they held?
They were held in Michigan and
Should've
Eastern
gave
Michigan
you-
University.
I should have gave you a hint. That wasn't fair. I'm sorry, Michigan?
Yeah, Eastern Michigan University is where
Okay.
they had the tournament.
And how do you wrestle all these people and end up 8th? How did that breakdown happen?
They have a seating meeting, which is like they put you in a bracket, and they place you through the bracket, and then if you wrestle a girl, if you win, you move up, and then if you keep winning, you go all the way to like first place, and if you lose, you drop to like 3rd and 4th bracket, and then you kind of just work your way up or down, and depending on if you win or lose.
So you took 8th in nationals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Now, your older brothers were wrestlers as well?
Yes.
Did they give you any advice?
Yeah, Tommy, who was the one who was the biggest on wrestling, who wrestled here his whole life, he always busted my butt at home, and we always practiced and stuff. So he came with me to states and nationals.
Okay.
Was my coach. So.
And who's your coach here at North Penn?
Schätzlein.
Okay. What are your plans for next year?
I'm gonna wrestle for the team, but I'm trying to do a girls wrestling out of school. So I'm trying to get more into that because I'm trying to go to college for wrestling and all that. So.
Is there wrestling for women?
There's only 13 colleges in the whole United States that have women's
Okay.
wrestling.
Now, after college, you're not going to be on one of those wrestling shows, are you? And
Probably not, but
congratulations, state champion.
thank you.
That's fantastic. David, we didn't forget about you. Welcome to the show. You are quite the musician. You've been selected to, tell me, what have you been selected to? I'm getting ahead of myself. What instrument do you play?
Well, first of all, I play the oboe.
What year are you?
I'm a junior.
Okay. And you play the oboe.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the festivals that you were selected for.
Well, there's this thing called PMEA, which is Pennsylvania Music Educators Association, I think.
It is.
There's 3 levels. There's districts, and then regionals and states. And each one is like a weekend festival where you have to go and play through intensive rehearsals for a few days. And you kind of have to work your way up to states. And this year I made it to states.
Let's talk about getting entry into the first level. What did you have to do for that?
Well, for districts, there's certain requirements for the audition. They have a solo piece, and then sight reading.
What was the solo piece this year for oboe? Do you remember?
Well, it was the Telemann Concerto for oboe.
All
Not that anyone knows what that is.
Oh
but
yeah, there's people out there that know.
Yeah.
So you got results back from your the solo.
Mhm.
What else do you have to do?
And scales and sight reading.
Okay, you combine all those, and you get a listing of how well you do within your area districts.
Mhm.
How did you do at districts?
So I placed first at districts,
Okay.
and after that festival, I had to try out for regionals, and that's just the next level above. You have to go through another audition, and I made it to that level, and then finally states.
Okay.
And states was different because states is, the whole state, and I met people from Pittsburgh, from State College area, Erie, all over, and it was really great to just meet musicians from all over Pennsylvania.
Where was the state festival held this year?
Near Valley Forge at Norristown High School.
And when was this event?
Actually, just last weekend.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of your guest conductors? Anyone stand out in particular?
Well, the guy we had at States was from IUP, and he was just great. And then we also had
What makes him so great?
he was just really caring, and he was very musically inclined. He was a bassoonist, so he was a woodwind player, which always helps.
Yep.
And yeah, he was just a really nice guy. Yeah.
Now, you're a teenager. Do you listen to the music that you play in orchestra?
I am, yeah, I'm an orc dork. My iPod is pretty much, 75% classical, but I like all kinds of music.
Okay.
So,
Do you have a favorite classical piece or composer?
well, my favorite composer is probably Brahms, but there's lots of good music out there.
Okay. Overall, it's state festival and orchestra. How big is the orchestra? How many people are involved?
The orchestra was pretty big, bigger than a normal group. Maybe 150 people. There's normally about 100 at most in an orchestra. So, it was a group of a really big size. And it was just a great experience to meet those people and play good music, and it was a lot of fun.
Great. Okay, I have one final question for each of you, all right? Let's say down the road when we all, and you'll be here in a couple years, when you all graduate North Penn High School, what are the plans that you have for college or other careers? Amit, I'm going to give you the first opportunity. Do you have any plans of where you want to go to college, or if you want to go to college, what do you want to do when you get there? Do you have any ideas yet?
Not really.
You have plenty of time, so don't worry about that. The other ones have a little less time than you do. Do you know where Temple University is?
Yeah.
All right, you want to think about Temple University, great program there. Jeannie, what about you? Well, you're limited to 13 colleges.
I'm very limited.
Is Temple in that mix?
No, I actually got a lot of scholarship offer from Temple already, but they don't have wrestling. So I'm either looking at, there's one in Kentucky, Cumberland University, and then there's Menlo in California, and there's one in Texas that I'm looking at. So I'll be pretty far.
Yeah. And Kentucky, is that the closest one for you?
Lock Haven has girls wrestling, but it's a club, so Kentucky is the closest actual team that I have.
Are there scholarships available for women wrestlers?
They're actually really high right now because women wrestling is just kind of becoming a big thing.
I would say.
So, I don't know, I hope.
How about a major? Do you know what your major would be?
I'm looking at psychology or something with business. So.
Great. David, you're a junior.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to graduate next year, and you're going to go to, do you have any ideas or hopes or dreams?
Well, I want to go to a music conservatory. There's a couple around here. I'm going to go visit one actually next week, the Cleveland Institute of Music. And, there's also Peabody, Juilliard, New England Conservatory. So hopefully if I can practice hard enough.
So what is your dream? To finish college and then what?
Well, the job situation for musicians is kind of all over the place. I could teach, but I'm kind of looking for performance, hopefully one day to make it into an orchestra.
Do you have one in mind?
Philadelphia.
There you go. Okay. All three of you, congratulations on all your accomplishments this year. It's wonderful. That's all for this segment, but don't go anywhere. Coming up next, we're going to be talking to the Oak Park staff about their 50th anniversary celebration. Don't go. We'll be right back.
For over 20 years, the North Penn Educational Foundation has provided over $400,000 in grants to teachers in the North Penn School District, providing opportunities to explore new methods of teaching to bring out the best in every child. Find out how you can be a part of the North Penn Educational Foundation by visiting us online at npenn.org.
And welcome back to North Penn's Finest. Joining me now are members of the Oak Park Planning Committee, Principal Bonnie Rosen, and other members, Jen Sweeney, Gene Fritz, and Karen Scioli. Ladies, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Bonnie, you are the principal. How long have you been a principal?
I'm finishing my 4th year.
Okay. Were you a teacher before that or principal before that?
Just before that, I was an instructional coach, elementary instructional coach.
Here at North Penn?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I was a principal at Bridle Path. Prior to that time, I was a teacher at Inglewood and also did some subbing at Nash.
So you've spent your career here at North Penn?
Most of my career, I've also taught in the Reading School District. I owned a daycare school, the Woolly Bear Daycare School, taught at the community college and also at the IU.
Okay.
So
You've been here a while?
I've been in the North Penn area a long time.
Jen, what about you?
I've been at Oak Park for about 21 years.
Now, you're a teacher?
Yes, I teach.
What do you teach?
5th grade.
Okay.
So I've been teaching at Oak Park for about 21 years. A half a year I taught at Knapp Elementary.
Jean, what's
Yes.
your angle from Oak Park?
I'm a retired secretary. I was the secretary to 11 principals during that 38 years.
We're going to spend a little bit more of our time later on talking about all of those areas. So we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Karen.
Yeah, I'm a 5th grade teacher at Oak Park. I teach with Jen, and I taught in Philadelphia for 5 years. So I've been teaching in total about 15 years, and trying to get this 50th anniversary celebration together.
Let's talk about that. Bonnie, what is happening at Oak Park? Tell me what's going on. What do we have planned? What's going on?
We are abuzz with activity.
Okay.
We have a lot of plans set up between our home and school.
I should first of all say, what are we celebrating?
We are celebrating our 50th year, our anniversary of the school. And it's a celebration that's going to bring our alumni together. Our children are creating projects, the Museum of the Decade. They're researching, they're bringing that information to the art teacher who is creating posters, and we're making our museum a huge celebration of the decade. So we're incorporating curriculum along with it too. We have carnival games, home and school is setting that up, but we also have a green carnival. We have a champion robotics team that has developed many games that are a carbon footprint, eco-conscious, so the kids are involved in that too.
Are you just trying to target the Oak Park? Is this something that's open up to the whole community?
It's really to the whole community, but obviously we're trying to get our alumni back. So we've been sending out numerous letters, connections in the district, to district officials, to some of our political people. It's really just a celebration of us, and we're thrilled.
Okay. Jen, what are you doing on the committee? What's your angle?
As for our students, we've been helping to set up for the Museum of the Decades. We're working with the 1950s. I've contacted former teachers, and many of them are sending scrapbooks and other memorabilia to display that day, and we'll be putting that together to be on display for everyone to tour that day.
Jean, I'm going to skip you for a moment. Karen, what do you know what, Karen? We don't know the date. What is the date of this event?
The day is May 16th, and it's from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Does that date signify anything in particular? It's just a
No, it was the
beautiful day in
best
May.
date we could find.
Okay.
We felt it was a good date for the students to come back and for people out there. My job in this is I was kind of chaired the school part of it, just getting people working on different projects, coming up with some different ideas of what we could do, and what do people want to see when they come back. Do you want to come back and be able to see a classroom that's a modern day smartboard classroom? Do you want to see what the students are doing, in the classroom? So we have a few things going on, that we think kind of are neat and, hopefully welcoming.
Okay. Jean, let's talk about you for a moment
Okay.
here. You retired now?
Yes,
How many
I am.
years have you been retired?
Nearly 6 years in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You were secretary at Oak Park for 38 years.
Yes.
And 11 principals, you said?
Yes.
Who was your favorite? I won't ask you to.
They all were.
Oh. Do you have any favorite memories, or do you have so many?
Oh, I do have a lot of favorite memories, but my fondest memories are of the students. That's the reason I stayed so long, or because of the kids.
Any one student or a handful of students? Or just...
many, many, many.
Okay.
And while I was still working, they would come. Those that have gone on to college would just drop in to say hello and get you all caught up in what their life is like now.
How far back do you go? Who was your first principal? Do you remember?
Nelson Weber.
Back in
1965, 65.
Okay. I wasn't born yet, so I'm just kidding. And can you go through the names? It doesn't have to be in the order. Do you remember the?
Nelson Weber, Reese Thomas, John Schickling, Al Kohler, Bill Alexander, Mitch Edmonds, Mary Kay Feely, Gail Melton. I'm forgetting someone, but I'm forgetting
You
a
got
few.
most of them.
Yeah.
Good.
What is your? What are you doing on this committee now?
I'm just digging up old photographs and answering questions that they asked me.
Being retired, do you miss being at the building?
I still volunteer there.
Oh.
I haven't severed that relationship.
So you really haven't retired yet?
No.
Okay.
Not ready to give it up yet.
Bonnie, is there any information on a website at all on this?
It's on our website. It's the Home and School website. We sent out a listserv. We have various communications that are posted in the district. We have signs that are on our property. We have signs on the door. We continue to send home newsletters, so we're trying to get the word out as best as possible. And like I said, there have been individual letters sent to people too. So we've been communicating quite extensively.
Also the newspaper.
Right.
The reporter ran a nice piece. It was a front page about Oak Park celebration of their 50th. And so since then, we've received some emails from people that go way back into the beginning when Oak Park first opened, who saw the newspaper articles, or family members sent it to them. And they've contacted us to say, this is wonderful. Let me share what I remember. So we want to also put that out so people could read that.
Are you missing anything that you're trying to find over the years, like you're trying to get in touch with someone, or is there anyone out there you're trying to, or any object of Oak Park you're looking for?
Any memorabilia or artifacts, pictures, stories. There was a lovely story. Do you want to share that story about the person on the swing that was?
Oh, yes, there was I think 5th or 6th grade. I think it might have been 5th grade, but ended up he actually was at 5th grade with this other student, and as years went by, later on they came back, and he proposed to her on the playground where they grew up together on the swing. So we're hoping that they're supposed to be coming back to see us on that day, and we'd like to, of course, try to get a picture of them near the swing if we can. So that was kind of exciting. There was just a lot of different stories. There was another story about a woman who remembers taking ballroom dancing, remembers the Mayflower, the maypole, which we did get some pictures. So a lot of people just been, I think, having fun, reminiscing about what's going on, and what
Jen,
went on.
What are the times again for this event?
It would be between 11 and 2, and inside we'll be hosting tours, and then outside there'll be a Mayfair that'll continue to go on with games
Now,
and fun.
worst case scenario, not that's going to happen.
Okay.
Plan B.
I was very worried
What
about
happens if Mother Nature doesn't want you to have this outside and it rains?
Good question. We'll probably have to scale down a little bit. We'll be moving the games into classrooms. We already talked to John Strobel, and he said, push back the desk and, make it happen. So
No matter what, May
we're gonna do
16th,
it.
We're there.
11 to 2, it's going to happen.
We're there.
It'll be fun.
Did we miss anything? You want to add anything else? Did I think?
Food, fun, DJ, dancing,
Meet and
singing.
greet.
We have chimes coming. Our
Yes.
chimes children that play chimes, they'll be presenting. Robotics presentation along with their part of the carnival. Just like you said,
Meet and greet room.
meet and greet room. We have a big cake. We have papers that they can reminisce and sign information about.
What do you have here? What are
Well,
these?
these are, this was the article that was in the paper that was a great article. We actually have some pictures that I think Mr. Gilmore will be using in this too. It shows that it used to be called Lansdale Elementary School. So we have pictures of past and present. We also have a family, Judy and her daughter, Janet. They're both teaching in the school, so we have their pictures here too, Judy Taylor and Janet Taylor Moser. So that connection also that she went to school there. Now the mom taught there, and her daughter teaches
Mom
here.
retired and
Mom
she
retired and teaches.
Yeah.
So
was
we have
hired.
those connections too.
So it's
Nice
neat.
cycle.
Right. We also have a table of toys from
Right.
the 50th.
Because it's
50
50th
years
birthday.
toys, birthday toys.
And we have yearbooks.
We have
Yearbooks,
yearbooks,
yes.
lots of yearbooks.
And at one point, Oak Park, when I began teaching there, it was K to 5, and now it's K to 6. So, I mean, our yearbooks used to be 5th grade, and then they turned into 6th grade yearbooks. So, you can see how the changes have come over the years.
And there'll be a yearbook room, excuse me, there'll be a yearbook room where people can come in and just look at a lot of yearbooks. And
Do you have them all?
Well, we've been getting them.
this-
People have been loaning them to us,
Okay.
which would put their name on, and we'll take good care of them. So if anybody has yearbooks, that would be something else that they could drop off. So we have enough so that everyone could look at the same time.
You
or
got
whatever.
everything covered.
I think so.
Jean, what has changed in that building physically? Is it the same building to you?
No, it's not. They added an addition, and then they remodeled, and there's more classrooms. They enclosed the outside area where the children used to walk from their room outside into the main part of the building. And the funniest part was the kindergarten children. They would put on their yellow slickers and their little yellow boots and their little yellow hat, and they'd line up, and we'd call them the yellow ducks, and they would walk from kindergarten, parade through the office, and very often the teacher would say, "Okay, we're ducks today," and she'd have them turn their feet out, and they'd quack all the way over. That just used to be the bright spot of the day.
Ladies, I think you have it covered. I hope you get a huge crowd, and I know you'll have perfect weather.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
ladies, good luck, and thank you for joining me. I'd also like to thank our other guests. I'd like to thank Jeannie Prakowski, David Rosenfeld, and Amit Malik for joining us. And again, to the ladies of the 50th Planning Committee, good luck. And for all of you, thank you for watching North Penn's Finest.